Glene, ty jsi se narodil v Dublinu. Každá národní hudba má nějaký základ. Je to podobné jako v tvé hudbě, která je chvílemi jako bouře a chvílemi tichá jako...
I suppose so. I suppose when music is at its best, when you're making music properly, it doesn't have a human personality. It takes on some deeper thing, and it enters into the realm of dreaming. And I think dreaming is when you make music that makes people dream, then you're making the right kind of music. But we can only hope to make music that good.
Ty jsi začínal zpívat na ulici asi ve 13 letech. V Česku není zvykem, že by se někdo prospíval z ulice až na přední místa, třeba irské hudby.
There's a whole community of musicians that we know, a whole community of great music that's made and has started from the street. In a way, it's taking your guitar and going out on the street is like there is a stage there for you. Like you're totally breaking down the barrier between the whole idea of payment or I didn't play music just for money. I played music so that I could play, and I think I learned every basic rule of music and every basic rule of music that I still use through playing on the streets.
Potom si natočil svoji první desku, ale tu si nenatočil sám, nýbrž s kapelou Frames.
It was a very natural step to take to move from being on the street to then saying, well, we have this concert in this club. After we play on the street, we go to the club and we play, come with us. And what was really good about that is that we had an audience. Our audience came from the street and followed us, and then to make a record was a very natural progression from there. So the whole thing, it never really felt like these were all small goals. In 1 year I would love to be in a band. In 2 years I would love to make a record. And these were small goals that we set, and touch wood, they all came to be.
Preferuješ koncerty s velkou kapelou na velkých jevištích anebo raději malé klubové vystoupení?
I like both. I like both very, very much. There's something very different about both. When you play on a big stage, you have to, it's just sometimes it's so overwhelming and something inside you takes over and you make, I don't know, it's very strange, it's very hard to explain what happens, but there's this huge energy that comes towards you and somehow you need to push it back and it's a very, very good feeling. And then playing in a small room is very much the same, except on a much tinier level. It's so much more subtle. Everything you do is so much more animated. When you're in a tiny room, everything you do is so animated. On a big stage, it's almost like everything becomes very much broad strokes. It's like Jackson Pollock. You're throwing paint at the canvas, whereas when you're in a small room, you're sketching with a tiny pencil. So it's very different, but I really like both. I think it's very, very good.
Ty jsi začal nahrávat s velmi slavnou společností Island, ale nakonec si skončil u svého labelu, u své společnosti. Proč?
When U2 became a very popular band, they signed the Island Records and many other English major labels signed many Irish bands, and we were one of the bands they signed. And it was very good for us. We had 2 really good years with them, and then this other band who were signed to our label called the Cranberries did really, really well, and their record went crazy big. It was huge. And Ireland, the irony is when something is successful, instead of it encouraging everybody else, they just cut everybody else away. So we were part of every year or two the record companies have a sweep where they sweep off all the stuff that isn't making money, and we were just part of a sweep. So for us, it made much more sense to be our own label, because it meant that we could control everything we do, that we didn't feel that we had to deliver a record to a certain criteria. There were certain when we were with Ireland, there were definite boundaries made on our music, and ones that we didn't feel very comfortable with. Just this whole notion in pop music that you have to be the biggest, the fastest and the loudest, And we didn't really care for any of those ideas, really. We just wanted to sort of try to develop at our own pace. And if that meant making many mistakes, we were okay with that. That it was always, for us, it was always a much longer road.
Glene, vaše desky se velmi dobře prodávají, jste velmi úspěšní v hitparádách. Spousta novinářů vás srovnává s U2. Cítíte se být lepšími, nebo to vůbec nechceš řešit?
I hope that by us being successful, that we're not keeping a smaller band who are really good down. I hope that our success doesn't, I don't like the idea of, you know, success, you take up too much room. You know, I think you two have had such a long time in their position that if I was in their position, maybe I would, you know, step back for a while, let someone else come up. And I mean that in the best possible way, that, you know, I think it's really good. It's really good to have success, but you must always allow the world to develop and allow the next generation to come.
Glene, ty jsi hovořil o tom, že tě inspiruje irská krajina. Inspiruje tě také moravská krajina nebo moravští lidé, moravská hudba?
I really like it. I really like the country of the Czech Republic. Also, I think Slovakia is very beautiful. I like the drive between Balasca Mezerici and Novi Icin very much. So yes, I think that I come here to write.